What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today I did want to talk about something because as we all know, a few days ago they did announce that Forza Horizon 5 is coming to PlayStation. Now I gotta admit, at first I was really surprised, but at the same time I also wasn't. And the thing is, I gotta admit, the reason why I do say this, I'm not all that surprised that they are bringing Forza Horizon to PlayStation. You might be asking, well, why is that though? The reason I do say that is I do feel like a lot of people playing racing games on PlayStation, which we all do know there's a lot of people on PlayStation, there's a lot of people on Xbox. I would obviously guess right now that a lot of PlayStation players would love to try Forza Horizon, myself including. I know you could probably go out and buy an Xbox, I understand that, but what if you've always loved PlayStation? What if all your games are on that you've always been a PlayStation player? Then boom, we are now going to have one of the biggest racing games ever now coming to PlayStation that was always on the Xbox before. And a lot of people are going to be like, oh, well, if it is coming to PlayStation, how is that going to be a good thing? The reason why I do say this is going to be a good thing, guys, I gotta 100% admit this. I'm sure people are going to agree, but that's going to be one simple word: competition. The reason why I do say this is now that we're having this racing game coming over to PlayStation, other said racing games are most likely now going to have to pretty much wake up and go, okay, so we were taking our time doing this, doing that. Probably weren't adding some of the biggest things we could have been adding, but now we're getting a big behemoth of a racing game coming to PlayStation that a lot of people, including myself, are most likely going to go, yeah, I want to try this. I've always wanted to try this game. I've been playing these other games, but I do want to try out Forza. And I'm sure everyone does know where I'm probably going with this, but we all do know the main competitor of Forza is, ding ding ding, I'm sure we all know, right? The Crew Motorfest. I mean, it's kind of obvious, am I right? Look how the games are set up. They're both going to be festival racers. I would say they're probably going to be fairly similar in that aspect. It's kind of how, like, they're probably designing Motorfest, is what my guess is. But the thing is, a lot of people playing Motorfest on PlayStation, which a lot of us obviously are, we're also probably like, you know what, imagine if we did end up getting Forza one day, and now it is turning out that we will all be able to play Forza on PlayStation in the spring of this year. It's honestly kind of insane to me, man. Like, I really am excited to try it. If anybody is wondering, I have never played any Forza game ever because I've always been on PlayStation, and if you are wondering though, it has nothing to do with me not liking Xbox. In fact, I think Xbox is great, I think PlayStation is great, and I also think PC is great. Like, if you like one of the platforms, enjoy it and play it. I really do not understand the entire, like, console war or platform war thing. Really does not make any sense. Also, you guys know what is funny? When I was recording this video here on Motorfest, guess what happened? The game did end up crashing. Weird. I think not. But here's the thing though, you might end up being a tad confused on why I am saying that it's good that Forza is coming for the competition standpoint. The reason why I say this though is we all do know having competition something is a good thing, and that way it might end up making other games or, like, other companies go, okay, well, that is going to be a good idea. Players love that. This game is going to have a better system in this. I really like the way the cars are in this. There's more vehicles in that aspect. There's more game modes, and maybe the other companies and stuff might be like, okay, that's a good idea. Let's do that. That's why I feel like in some ways, looking at Need for Speed, Motorfest, Forza, all of these games, every single games bring a specific thing to a table to where you're looking at something going, okay, I really like this. Why can't that be in this game? And if that game does end up coming over to, let's say, a new platform that it was never on, this can also go for something like Gran Turismo coming over to Xbox. Is that ever going to happen? I don't know, honestly. Let me know in the comments. I don't really see that happening. But the thing is, I really do feel like seeing something like this happening is probably going to force other games to most likely really buckle down and go, okay, we need to fix this. There's going to be issues here that we really need to talk about and get that situated. That way the players are going to be having a great time. I mean, if you didn't really have that much competition, there's really not that many things to worry about. And one of those could probably be Call of Duty. Like, looking at that, guys, for example, we all do know Call of Duty is going to be the main FPS shooter. When was the last time we had a Battlefield game? It has been a minute. We all do know the next Battlefield game is apparently this year, which I would say is going to be great for that genre, probably needed. But I feel like that could be a good way to look at this though. Like, if you're looking at something like Call of Duty going, okay, well, there's not really anything disrupting it, that is probably going to be fairly true. Another instance can be, well, we are going to have Motorfest on every single platform. Everybody's enjoying it. Forza is obviously going to be a behemoth of a game, man. There's so many different types of cars in it. I would almost guess right now, again, I've never played Forza, but from the people I have talked to that have played Forza, they like it, or they have played Forza games in the past for that matter, there is always going to be a ton of vehicles in Forza to where you're probably not going to have a lot of those in Motorfest, where players might want to get on that game and go, okay, well, I'm going to have some like crazy trophy trucks. I can use these and really do some off-roading events or off-roading stuff or something. Maybe there's like proper drift builds, and maybe you're finally looking for different engine swaps that you really want to do on different vehicles to test them out or do some crazy stuff with your friends on that aspect. The only game you can currently do that on, I do know of obviously on PlayStation, is Gran Turismo, and I do also know you can do engine swaps on Need for Speed. There's not going to be anything like that in the crew, so players can't do it, but if you always wanted to mess around with certain vehicles, do things like that, now, well, if you are going to be on PlayStation, that has an entirely new thing you can do. On top of all of this, guys, I did say the competition thing's going to make it great because it will fix certain things. One of those is probably going to be the servers. We all do know the servers in Motorfest really are going to be incredibly unstable. And yes, if you are wondering, this has been an issue since the launch of the game, going all the way back to the Crew 1 for that matter. I'm wondering right now if Forza can swoop in right now and have good working servers, even crossplay, you are most likely going to have a big problem on your hands. You might be wondering why. Well, the thing is, if Forza is going to work, which I'm going to guess and say, yeah, it probably will. I'm like to inferring that right now. I will be testing it when it does obviously release. But the thing is, though, on PlayStation, if you are playing the crew, you obviously can only play with the crew people on PlayStation, and you can also only play with Xbox if you're on Xbox, and, so on with PC. But I am going to call this right now and say we are most likely going to be months away because the game's coming out in the spring, so I'm going to assume that's probably going to be after the March timing or so. Then we will end up getting Forza. The thing is, though, if the crossplay does end up working, you can go into complete free roam with anybody on Xbox or even PC. I feel like a lot of people are going to start playing Forza in that aspect, because now if you're on PlayStation, your friends are on Xbox, you're playing the crew, guess what? The only way you can play together is going to be Grand Races. Mind you, we've had the same Grand Races for over a year now. It's honestly not that fun. And the funny part is, I don't even remember the last time I even played a Grand Race because I just haven't had a desire to play it. That is going to be the main way you can play with people on a different platform, which I would say is probably going to be a huge issue. Now, I don't know if you're going to be able to have full crossplay or something like that on Forza in free roam, but I gotta say this, guys, if that's going to be a thing, my goodness, that even scares me for Motorfest on top of it. It would be so dang fun to race with other people on different platforms and stuff, but you can't even do that at the moment. If Forza does end up introducing this and the servers are going to work, I feel like that is going to be a big problem on Ubisoft's hands. And I do feel like people are going to agree. Like, we all do know the servers on Motorfest have been an issue for a minute, and now this brand new racing game a lot of people probably want to try, especially on PlayStation, are now going to have the option to do it. But you're also going to have this huge racing game with all the new stuff in it that you've never experienced. And the craziest part is, if your friend is on Xbox or your friend's on PC, guess what? You can legitimately play with them, and you don't have to only do a grand race. I feel like that's kind of a huge thing. And I've been thinking about this the past couple of days because we all do want every game to succeed. We want them to do great. But sometimes you probably feel like certain games might be kind of like dragging their heels or, taking their time with stuff. And I feel like that's not the best way to do it. Like, yeah, you're going to be releasing updates, but are they going to be that great? Are players really excited for them? Because, well, if they are playing it, they probably don't have any other options to go to that give them the feeling of the Crew Motorfest, okay? You guys probably see where I'm going with this. Yeah, we have Need for Speed Unbound, but that is probably going to be an entirely different game. It's different in a lot of ways. It is not going to be similar to Motorfest in that many aspects, so people are probably going to want to play Motorfest or Need for Speed Unbound. There's really not like a thing there showing that people want to do both or play both, I guess. I kind of enjoy playing both, even though, again, they're both going to be different gameplay styles. The thing is, though, if you have been enjoying Motorfest, you're probably playing this on PlayStation because you probably don't have another game similar to this one that you can play. The thing is, that is going to completely change in around 2 to 3 months. And honestly, I'm really excited to see where this does end up going. I'm really hoping Forza coming in is going to end up making Motorfest even a better game, and they're most likely going to have even better updates coming into it. Whether it's going to be a lot more content, better things being added. And yeah, we're going to be getting the Season 6 update in March for Motorfest, which I am excited for, but at the same time, I gotta admit something. I'm also not. You guys know why? Because I'm going to guess right now and say that, well, we are probably going to get one playlist, some new vehicles. Some of them are probably going to already be in the game with some special liveries and stuff like that on it. Like, I'm excited, but I gotta admit, at the same time, I'm just not all that excited for it. When I did end up seeing something like Forza coming, I'm like, ooh, this is going to be cool, man. We're going to have all kinds of vehicles we've never gotten to use. There's probably going to be all kinds of different game modes, different things to explore. And I know this is probably going to sound dumb and stuff like that, but this is also coming from a PlayStation player who has never played a Forza game. So yeah, I'm pretty dang excited for it. But I am really curious to know what y'all think about this in the comments below. I was seeing a lot of comments and stuff, whether it was going to be on my community post on X and stuff. Even on Instagram, there is a lot of people that are very happy about it. I do understand there's people that are like, man, we're on Xbox, we can't have nothing. But the thing is, this is probably just going to help Microsoft and also put one of the biggest racing games. The way I do look at this, though, is it is now going to be an entirely new fan base that has probably been wanting to play this game for a while, and now they're going to have the chance to finally jump on and enjoy it. And on top of that, Microsoft's also going to make more money when doing this, which means, well, we could probably get some crazy stuff for that game in the future, which I would say is going to make people happy in every single area. I am really curious to know what y'all think about this in the comments below. And I do want to mention, by the way, I have a few other videos planned for a few topics on this matter that I definitely do want to discuss. Definitely stay tuned for those, guys. And again, what are your thoughts on Forza Horizon 5 coming to PlayStation? And not only that, though, we are probably going to be seeing something about Forza Horizon 6 here soon, which I do think is probably going to exclusively release on maybe Xbox, or they might end up releasing it on PlayStation and Xbox. Imagine that for a second.